Hi students, I'm making this video to help you with question 2. So in question 2, you are given an equation that's in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax squared plus bx equals c, and you have to convert it to factored form and to vertex form. Factored form is what we've been doing all this time, where first you check for a GCF, you have a 1 for A, so your GCF is 1. So all I have to do is put 2 parentheses. Don't forget the y equals in the front. We want 2 numbers that multiply to get x squared. So I know that's going to be x times x. And then I want 2 numbers that multiply to get negative 12. And when you add your 2 numbers, you get negative 4. So I know we have 1 times 12, but if I add or subtract those, that's too big. 2 times 6, if I add or subtract those, I get negative 4, so it's going to be 2 and 6. And since we have a negative 4, your 6 has to be negative and your 2 has to be positive. So I'm going to check by doing outer times outer. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. Inner times inner, 2 times x is positive 2x. When I add these together, I get negative 4x, which is your bx right there in the middle. So I just converted from standard, this is standard, to factored form. This is my answer right here. For vertex form, it's a little bit, well, this is new. So the first thing I need to do, I just want x squared minus 4x. I want to get rid of that c at the end. So what I do, I have to do the opposite. If I'm subtracting 12, I'm going to add 12. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So this side will remain y plus 12. Okay, so then we have x squared minus 4x. So this is called completing the square. So what we need to do is I take this number right here, negative 4, and I half that number. Well, half of negative 4 is negative 2. So I write negative 2, and you put an x here, and you square it. Well, I'm trying to figure out if I complete this squared, if I have x minus 2, x minus 2, we have x squared here, and we have minus 2x and minus 2x. That gives me the negative 4 that's right here. What must go in this box? Well, positive 4. So in this space here, we put positive 4. And whatever I do here, I need to do the same thing over here. So I have y. 12 plus 4 is 16. And all of this becomes this, because x minus 2 times itself, x minus 2 gives you x squared minus 4x plus 4. So all those 3 became x minus 2 quantity squared. I'm almost done. What I need to do now, I want y by itself. So what I need to do is subtract 16 here, and I do the same thing over here, minus 16. That cancels out, and I'm left with y equals x minus 2 squared minus 16. To check your answer, it's really important that we use decimals. So, okay. Sorry guys, it's hard to make these videos with kids at home. So I already went to decimals. I put in my original equation, I put in my factored form and my vertex form. And if you do it correctly, all three should be the same parabola. It doesn't matter which equation you have, you get the same. They're all equivalent to each other. It's the same parabola in three different equations. I'm going to do one more set of problems because I know the vertex form is a little tricky. So let's do another set of problems. The factor form, I'm going to go really quickly. Once again, the GCF is 1, and I know that because A is 1. So I'm going to draw my two sets of parentheses. Don't forget the y equals in the front. What times what is x squared? Well, x times x. And then I see that there's two numbers, that I have to come up with two numbers that multiply to get 24, and when you add those, you get 10. So I know I have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, but if I add those are really big numbers. I have 3 times 8, that's 11 when I add those. 4 times 6, that's my set because 4 plus 6 is 10. So I'm going to put plus 4 plus 6. And just to check, make sure that we're going to do outer times outer. We get 6x. Inner times inner, we have 4x, and that gives me 10x. Hopefully by now, maybe you can start checking in your brain. But if you are not comfortable, still write it on paper. That's okay. So that I just converted from standard to factored. Now let's go to vertex form. So the first thing, I need to get rid of this c right here. So I look, I'm adding it. So I do the opposite, minus 24. I minus 24. So I have y minus 24. And then I have x squared plus 10x. I know I'm going to have to complete the squared. So the first thing I'm going to do is we take the 10 and we half it. Half of 10 is 5, so we're going to put 5. And we're going to bring the x, the same sign goes there, and the squared goes outside. Then what we're doing, we're completing the squared. We know that we have x plus 5 times itself. I get x squared, 5x, 5x. We're trying to figure out what goes here. 5 times 5 is 25. So up here, I'm going to put 25, because I just completed the squared. And I have to do the same thing on this side. Negative 24 plus 25 is positive 1. I'm almost done. I just have to get rid of that plus 1. And I do that by doing the opposite here and here. And we get x plus 5 squared minus 1. And I just converted from standard to vertex. I hope this helps. I know I hate recording videos, but I hope it helps you. Please email me if you have any questions. Um, I hope this helps. Okay, good luck and see you soon.